right, so for today, we are going to be doing everything on the agenda. The first thing, we are going to update your Google Keep to-do list. Last class on Tuesday, we did this, and we are going to continue to do that for the rest of this week, so today and tomorrow, so you guys can get in the habit. We might even continue it on past today, just giving you time to do it and making sure you're making it a part of your day to make that to-do list and make sure you're getting everything done. So we're going to go to Google Keep, and all you have to do is open up a new page and just type in Google Keep, and it'll pop up for you. You can also put it on your your bookmarks bar. So everybody in here should be going to their Google Keep page, and everyone at home should be also doing that. So everybody is on their Google Keep page. Now, I'm going to remind you what you do on your Google Keep page is you copy and paste each number where you know you need to complete something. So like this one, we know we need to update our Google Keep list and submit a screenshot. So I'm going to copy that. So I'm going to highlight it, and then you can double click even and hit copy. And then you're going to go over to your Google Keep. And to edit your Google Keep, you're going to click on your list, your to-do list, okay? So click on that to-do list. It'll open it up to where you can edit. And we're just going to go down to a new list item, okay? We're going to paste it in. Now, if I want to, now it made it two different lines for me, so I'm going to actually take that off and put it on the end of this one. And I'll remember that when I'm making my to-do list on the agenda, then I keep it one line. That way it doesn't mess you guys up. But we know we need to update your Google Keep to-do list and take a screenshot and submit it, okay? So I made that all on one doc. Now, I can also move that up and be like, I'm going to be able to finish that first. So I can move that up to the very top. And I know I'm going to be able to finish that, okay, first. And then I can look through, and this is something we probably should have done before we started putting new things in, is to say, have I finished other things on my list that I didn't check off? Like, oh, maybe I finished the fourth bullet or fourth circle on No Red Ink. I can go ahead and click that done. And then, yeah, we finished reading section 2 and 3 of the Odyssey yesterday. I can go ahead and click that done. Now, we didn't get to the assignment, Civilization Religious Research Workshop, and we said we were going to move it to today. So that's why it says 10/22/20. If it doesn't say that on yours, then you definitely want to update that, okay, guys? So the assignment, Civilization Religious Research Workshop, is going to be due today. So we're going to go back to Echo. We're going to say, okay, the second thing on our list is complete the Thamos No Red Ink practice. Now, do we need to copy and paste that into our Google Keep? Yes or no? Why do we need to do that if it's already there? So do we need to? No, it's already there. We don't need to copy and paste to finish the Thamos practice because it is already there. It's right here. Continue working on your No Red Ink practice. So we don't have to copy and paste that one because it's already in there. Let's go back. And it says read section 4 of the Odyssey. Due today. So let's copy that one. So you can click on it and hit copy. So for the two people that just walked in, we're on Google Keep and we're updating our Google Keep to-do list, okay? Not Skylar. Aiden, you got that? Because you just walked in. Okay, good. So I'm going over there and I'm going to paste in the fact that we need to read section 4 of the Odyssey. And I'm going to move that one up to the top as well because I know that I need to get that one done probably second, maybe. Yes. So it's due it's due today, 10/25/20. All right. And then the last thing on our list is the Civilization Religious Research Workshop, which we had already put on there. If you don't, for some reason, have that on there yet, you can copy and paste it over, but you should have had that on there from Tuesday, okay? So you can see assignment, Civilization Religious Workshop, and I know I'm going to have that done today as well. It's due the 22nd. And we know that so honestly, all of this, if not all of this, should be done today. So you can click off of that. You have your to-do list ready to go, and you can go in. I see that Javian went ahead and shared it with me. You don't have to share it with me. You can just submit it to the Dropbox and Echo, but if that's an issue for you, I know that some students it was an issue with it. You can share it with me if it isn't, if you're not able to do that. So take a screenshot I got other people's jumping in. That's perfectly fine. And then once you take a screenshot of it, you're going to go to here, and that will take you right to the assignment where you're going to take a screenshot and submit that to the Dropbox. Okay? So I'm going to give everybody about a minute to make sure that's all done, and then we're going to continue on. All right, so that was about a minute, a little over. But our goal here isn't just to give you busy work and make you make a to-do list. As a reminder, our goal here is for you to start planning your day that way. Okay? The goal is for you to learn to be someone that can make to-do lists and get your work done. Okay?
This is a strategy for you to keep your life a little more organized.
Yeah, as Ms. Stockdale just said for you all at home, this is a strategy to help keep your life organized. So you could do this for all of your classes if you want to. We're not requiring that, but it would be helpful to do so. Okay? All right, so we gave you all about 10 minutes at the beginning of class because some people were getting the pictures taken. So I'm going to give you 10 more minutes to work on No Red Ink. I'm actually going to go over to No Red Ink while you all are working on it and kind of show you some stuff to help you all out. Skylar, do you have a question? Okay. So the big one that is kind of tough is, I believe it's this evaluating commas with Thamos. Okay. So let's take a look at this one. And essentially what it's saying is that whenever it is in the middle of a sentence, you put commas around both sides of it, okay? Whenever it is at the beginning, you put a comma at the end of the Thamos. And when it is at the end of a sentence, you put a comma before it, okay? So the big idea here is the Thamos interrupts sentences, okay? So you use commas to show that interruption. And depending on where it is, you put commas around it, okay? So let's take a look at this lesson to kind of show that, okay? So this one's saying, should there be a comma before the highlighted word? So the highlighted word is his. Is that our Thamos? No, it is not our Thamos. Our Thamos is the word before his, okay? So it's saying, should there be a comma before his, okay? And if we look at this, nevertheless, our Thamos is at the beginning of a complete sentence. His picture was on the front page of the paper. That's a complete sentence. So before, at the end of nevertheless, yes, we need a comma. Yes. All right, now we have another one. That, okay, is that our Thamos? No. However, is our Thamos, and it is in the middle of a sentence. She realized this wasn't a good idea in July. It's in the middle of a sentence, so it should be surrounded by commas. So we want a comma before that. Add a comma. All right, so he is not our Thamos. It is as a result is our Thamo. Okay, it's interrupting, or it's at the very beginning of this sentence. So it should have a comma at the end of the Thamos. So yes, we keep the comma. So you'll start noticing that, oh, I need to put commas around my Thamo, okay? It's always going to have a comma around it. If it's at the end of the sentence, it comes before. If it's at the beginning of the sentence, it comes after it. And that's kind of what we're figuring out at this point. So that, however, is our comma. Yes, we have the comma. All right, so let's go to the next one. Oh, there we go. We're going to go to our next topic, and then I'll just let y'all work. So punctuating, actually, let's look at identifying the function of a Thamos. I think that's another one that's confusing people. So this one is asking, is it between two thoughts, or is it interrupting one thought? Okay? And the idea here is that whenever you have a semicolon, it is breaking up two complete thoughts. Okay? Basically breaking up two sentences. Okay, don't let semicolons scare you. It's almost like a period, okay, between one sentence and another sentence, but you can use semicolons when you have a Thamo. But that's not what it's testing here. All it's testing here is it between two complete thoughts, or is it interrupting one complete thought? So let's read this sentence. Primrose Everdeen played pinball at the arcade. That is one complete thought, Okay? One complete sentence because it has a subject, a verb. So subject, Penrose Everdeen, a verb, played, and played what? Completes the idea, pinball at the arcade. Then we have a semicolon, and then we have our themos at the beginning of our next complete thought. So it says, I tried to win a stuffed animal. So it is in between one complete thought and another complete thought. So it is between two complete thoughts. All right, let's look at the next one. Peter Pettigrew enjoys scuba diving, semicolon, so that's a complete thought. Then we have our themos, as a matter of fact. And then we have another complete thought. He is a licensed instructor. It is between two complete thoughts. All right, so here's a tricky one. It changes. We have this first complete thought. I forgot to pick up Cho Chang on the way to the party. Then we have a semicolon. Then we have a different word, she. Then we have our themos, as a result, had to bike there. So, is it between the two complete thoughts? No, it's in between one complete thought. She, as a result, had to bike there. Okay, so it's interrupting one complete thought. So I was trying to relax before my big test, semicolon. Neville Longbottom, comma, therefore, comma, gave me a shoulder message. So, or massage, not message, massage. So here's a hint. If you haven't figured out the trick yet, if it's surrounded by commas, if it has a comma on both sides, it is interrupting one thought. If it has a semicolon and a comma, it is interrupting two thoughts. Okay? So we have two commas, so it's interrupting one thought. So I don't even have to read the sentence on this one. I can just look at it. Oh, comma around it, interrupting one thought. Semicolon and a comma between two complete thoughts. So you can see how fast you can get with this once you figure out the trick. Okay? Semicolon, comma, between two thoughts. Comma, between one thought. Or interrupting one thought. Semicolon, comma, between two complete thoughts. Semicolon, comma, between two thoughts. And boom, you can see I knocked out that one section of the 6 in about 3 minutes. Okay? So once you learn the trick, you can go much faster with it. Okay? So I'm going to start the clock right now. I'm going to give you all 10 minutes to work on this. Start back here in class. Just like whenever you all were here, we're seeing massive improvements on No Red Ink. If you are having trouble, send me an email saying, hey, can you specifically make a video for this, or can you specifically meet with me on this? I'm happy to do so, okay? And if y'all send me an email today saying, hey, this section I'm really having trouble with, I will go over it tomorrow before the quiz, okay? But right now we are going to continue moving on, and we're going to do our next thing, which is read section 4 of the Odyssey, okay? Now, if you still have your Google Keep open, real quick, you have your Google Keep open and you finish some of those practices and you want to have that feel good moment of checking those off, go and check them off really quick, okay? So after you do that, I need everyone in the room to get out your Odyssey reading. We are going to continue reading the Odyssey. So everybody should be pulling out their agendas, or not their agendas, their hard copies of their reading. Somebody have a question? Okay, so if you're at home and you do not have your hard copy with you right now, then you need to go to the digital version that is in the Civilization Creation Project. And then you can go down to Odyssey Materials, and it is right here, the Odyssey Book 9. Okay? If you're in class and you need one, let me know. You were not here. This is your first copy. Put your name up on the top. Those simple boxes right like that. Grab one out of that. Sharpen it. Did you lose yours?
No, mine's at home. I'll forget it in my.
Okay, so use it today.
I'll give it some back.
Yeah.
I'll grab mine.
Take notes on it. You can look. You pass? Yes. Both of them on Facebook. Right. So everybody should have their Odyssey reading out. Ready? And we are reading section 4 today, which starts at the end of section 3. Go figure. Let me get... Getting my video camera set up here so we can see it. There it goes. All right. So, who can tell me where we left off last? What is the last thing that happened in the story with Odysseus and his men? I need someone in the class because, Deegan, what do we got? Nice and loud. All right, Deegan says they're trapped with the Cyclops. What did the Cyclops just do? Sorry, Will. I want someone from that side of the class. What did the Cyclops just do? Oh my gosh, I know this. It's not just.
He ate the men.
Hold on a second. What's your name again? Yes. Jaden? Jaden. What did the Cyclops just do? Yeah, perfect. He ate 2 of the men by smashing them on the ground, ripping them apart, and just eating them down, okay? And then the Cyclops goes to sleep. Why does Odysseus not go over and just kill the Cyclops? William, do you know that answer? Okay, he's getting a plan together. Excellent. And yeah, if they kill the Cyclops, then they're never going to get out of the cave because that huge boulder was put in front of the cave. Okay, so there's no way to get out. Okay, are you listening to the thing it's saying? Okay, okay, so let's keep reading here. And remember, we're taking notes as we go. I've been saying this whole time. We have a quiz at the end of this. I'm taking this up, and you have a quiz in which you can use your reading to be able to answer questions, and that's going to be tomorrow, okay? So you taking notes as we're reading is really going to help you with that, okay? Because there's not going to be enough time on that quiz where you can be like, ooh, I need to reread this and find that information, okay? So continue taking notes with me, and I'm showing you how to do this, how to take notes. So it says, let me zoom in. When young Dawn with her rose-red fingers shone once more. So again, we have this imagery. It's kind of painting a picture of the morning with the reddish clouds and skies. And it looks like a hand, rose-red fingers shone once more. The monster relit his fire and milked his handsome ewes, which is like his goats. Each in order, a female sheep, thank you. Each in order, putting a suckling underneath each dam. So that's like a baby under a mama. Each in order, putting a suckling under each dam. And as soon as he briskly finished his chores, he snatched up 2 more men and fixed his meal. So how many more men does he eat? 2 more men. Eats 2 more men. Well fed, he drove his fat sheep from the cave, lightly lifting the huge door slab up and away, then slipped it back in place, as a hunter flips the lid of a quiver shut. So basically, was it very hard for the Cyclops to open and close the door? No, it wasn't. It wasn't hard for him because he lightly lifting the huge slab up and away. Now, for a human, it would be incredibly difficult, but easily opens giant door. Yeah, so yeah, Miss Stockdale just said, "Do you know what a quiver is?" And a quiver is something where, like, Robin Hood would have like an arrow being held, and he pulls it out, just like flipping the lid open on it. That's how easy it is. Very easy. Piercing whistles, turning his flock to the hills. He left me there, the heart inside me brooding on revenge. How could I pay him back? Would Athena give me glory? So Athena was a god, and he's thinking about revenge right now. How does he get him back against the Cyclops? Here was the plan that stuck my mind as best. The Cyclops' great club. Here it lay by the pins, olive wood, full of sap. He'd lopped it off to brandish once it dried. So he has this very large club. Okay, it's like a hammer or a mallet that, he clubs things with and kills things with. There's this great club. He lopped it off to brandish once it dried. Looking it over, we judged it big enough to be the mast of a pitch-black ship with her 20 oars, a freighter broad in the beam that plows through miles of sea so long. So this is big enough to be part of what? What is it part of? Yeah, William. A ship. It's big enough to be a part of a giant ship. The mast of a ship. Big enough to be a mast of a ship. And the mast of a ship is that thing that goes up like this, and the boat's like this, and then it holds the sail. So it's this giant thing that looks like a telephone pole, essentially. This massive, massive piece of wood. And he says it's big enough for a 20-oar ship, which would be a very big ship, okay? So long, let's see here. So long. So thick it bulked before our eyes, well flanking it now. I chopped off a fathom's length, rolled it to my comrades, told them to plane it down, and they made the club smooth as it. I bent and shaved the tip to a stabbing point. So basically, what are they making? A giant what? Kind of a giant javelin or spear, like a giant spear. Okay? Something to stab with. Okay? I turned it over the blazing fire to char it good and hard, then hid it well, buried deep under the dung. What's dung? Poop. This is not a very clean cave. So he hides it underneath the poop of obviously the goat's poop that littered the cavern's floor in thick, wet clumps. And now ordered my shipmates all to cast lots who'd brave it out with me, to hoist our stake and grind it into his eye. So he's saying, hey, we're going to draw straws, or we're going to flip a coin, or we're going to, what he means by draw lots is we're going to find out who's going to help me to stab the Cyclops in the eye. Okay, this is his plan. When sleep had overcome him. Okay, so he's got this plan to sharpen this giant stake or spear. He's going to stab it into the eye of. Thank you, Gustavo. He's going to stab it into the eye of the Cyclops. So luck of the draw, flipping it over. Luck of the draw, I got the very ones I would have picked myself. 4 good men, and I made 5. So he's got, who is it? Cool. Yeah. Okay. So 4 good men, and I in the lead made 5. So him and 4 other men are going to stab the Cyclops in the eye. Okay. Sounds like a pretty crazy move. Okay. Nightfall brought him back, herding his woolly sheep, and he quickly drove the sleek flock into the vaulted cavern, rams and all, none left outside in the walled yard. His own idea, perhaps, or a god led him on. So he doesn't put any sheep in the yard. He puts all the sheep inside. And that's going to kind of come back to be a good thing later. Yes, that's a great. No problem. I can slow down for sure. So I'll let you guys kind of get that going there. So take a second. Yep, they're stuck in the cave with a bunch of sheep, and they are, and I forgot to mark attendance, so that's what I'm going to do really quick. So yeah, they're all stuck in this cave, okay? And they've come up with this plan to sharpen down this mass, this giant thing that 5 of them are going to stab into the eye of the Cyclops, okay? Let's continue on here, slowing down a little bit. Then he hoisted the huge slab to block the door and squatted to milk his sheep and bleating goats. Bleating, not bleeding. That bleating means like, this word right here, bleating, means like, bah, like they're making the sound that a goat makes. Each in order, putting a suckling underneath each dam. And we see this is kind of part of the poem. We see him repeating things, okay, again and again. He keeps saying that he's putting a suckling under each dam. He keeps saying, when the sun came up, saying that dawn with her rose red fingers. So we see that repetitive descriptions. And as soon as he briskly finished all his chores, he snatched up 2 more men, 2 more, and fixed his meal. So again, he kills 2 more men are eaten. Okay, so how many men has he killed now? 6 men, yeah, 6 men. So he's killed 2 at the beginning, 2 for breakfast, and now he's doing 2 for dinner, okay? But this time I lifted a carved wooden bowl brimful of my ruddy wine and went right up to the Cyclops, enticing. Here, Cyclops, try this wine. Now, what was really important about the wine that we talked about from Tuesday? Well, and I appreciate it, but I want to hear from someone else. What was really important about that wine? Remind me your name. Mason. I remember this. Mason, what was really important about that wine? And Mason says it gets them really drunk. It's very strong wine, okay? It's very strong. Anybody going to add something else? Okay. This was that very strong wine, okay? So that's why earlier in the story in part 3, he really goes on and on about how strong this wine is. He says, here, Cyclops, try this wine. Top off the banquet of human flesh you bolted down. Judge for yourself what stock our ship had stored. I brought it here to make you a fine libation. So a libation is another word for a drink, a strong drink. So you can see that this is obviously Odysseus trying to get him to drink this drink, hoping you would pity me, Cyclops. Send me home, but your rages are insufferable. You barbarian, how can any man on earth come visit you after this? What you've done outrages all that is right. So he's almost kind of like challenging the Cyclops. So a challenge to the Cyclops. Because he's saying, at least take my gift. Like, I come to you trying to give you a gift, and you kill my men, and you eat them. At least take my gift. Okay, so it challenges the Cyclops to take his gift. At that, he seized the bowl and tossed it off, and the heady wine pleased him immensely. So he drank the wine. It pleased him immensely. He said, more. He demanded a second bowl, a hearty helping. And tell me your name now, quickly, so I can hand my guest a gift to warm his heart. So he says, what's your name, Odysseus? Because I want to give you a gift. The Cyclops offers him a gift. Our soil yields the Cyclops powerful, full-bodied wine, and the rains from Zeus builds its strength. But this nectar, this ambrosia, this flows from heaven. So nectar is like honey. It's like a special way to say something's delicious. Ambrosia is the food of the gods. Food of the gods. Okay? So ambrosia is this food of the gods, and it flows from heaven. So he's just going on and on about how delicious this wine is. So he declared, I poured him another fiery bowl. 3 bowls I brimmed, and 3 he drank down to the last drop. So how many drinks did we say 1 bowl of wine, or 1 glass of wine represented? Anybody remember, William? So 20, 1 glass of this wine is worth 20 glasses of wine. And then 1 bowl would be like 5 glasses of wine. So this Cyclops has drank like hundreds and hundreds of glasses of wine. This is kind of what Odysseus' plan was, right? So 3 bowls I brimmed, and 3 drank to the last drop, the full. And then, so he's a fool for drinking so much. And then when the wine was swirling around his brain, meaning like he's starting to feel drunk, I approached my host with a cordial, winning word. So you asked me the name I'm known by, Cyclops. So he asked him, you asked me what my name is. I will tell you, but you must give me a guest gift, as you've promised. And he says, nobody. He says, nobody, that is my name. Nobody, so my mother and father call me, and all my friends. So Odysseus says his name, is nobody. So you're sitting here thinking, what is this cunning trickery that he's trying to play on this Cyclops? Now remember, the Cyclops just drank a bunch of wine, it's very strong, and now Odysseus is saying his name is nobody. Okay? So is Odysseus being clever here? Let's see. But he boomed back at me from his ruthless heart. Nobody? I'll eat nobody last of all his friends. I'll eat the others first. That is my gift to you. So the Cyclops kind of springs his trick on him, and his gift is that he will eat Odysseus last. I think I'm spelling Odysseus wrong, but you get the idea. Odysseus last, okay? So it's kind of that kind of terrible trick that the Cyclops plays on and says, I'll eat you last, and that's my gift to you, is that you're going to watch all your friends suffer and die. It's kind of this evil thing that he's doing. With that, he toppled over, sprawled full length, flat on his back, and lay there, his massive neck slumping to one side, and sleep that conquers all overwhelmed him now, as wine came flooding up from his gullet with chunks of human flesh. He vomited, blind drunk. Oh, goodness. So what happens to the Cyclops? He passes out. And pukes. So you can imagine, think of the setting of this cave at this point. Sorry. They are all standing around a bunch of sheep, this giant Cyclops, feces everywhere, the poop from the goats and the sheep, and then this giant Cyclops flies over, throws up human flesh and wine and blood and guts. So this is a horrible moment. Like, you can just imagine the setting is just atrocious and nasty. But it's not over yet. This is pretty gruesome. Now at last I thrust our stake in the bed of embers to get it red hot and rallied all my comrades. So they get the stake really hot, that giant spear that they had built. Courage, no panic, no one hang back now. In green it was, just as the olive stake was about to catch fire, the glow terrific. Yes, I dragged it from the flames, my men clustering round as some god breathed enormous courage through us all. So they heat up the spear. Ugh. Hoisting high that olive stake with all its stabbing point straight into the monster's eye, they rammed it hard. I drove my weight on it, and from above and bored it home as the shipwright bores his beam with the shipwright's drill. That men below wiping the strap back and forth, or whipping the strap back and forth, whirl and drill, keep twisting faster, never stopping. So we seized our stake with its fiery tip. So what do? Well, they light the stake on fire, and then what are they doing in this section? They hoist it up and stab the eye of the Cyclops. They stab it in, whirling it and twisting it. Yeah. So we seized our stake with its fiery tip and bore it round and round in the giant's eye till blood came boiling up around the smoking shaft, and the hot blast singed his brow and the eyelid round the core, and the broiling eyeball burst. Goodness. So the eyeball blows up, stabbing him in the eye. It's pretty gruesome. Sorry. So they stabbed the eye. Its crackling roots blazed and hissed as a blacksmith plunges a glowing axe or adze. An adze is like a backwards hammer, kind of. Or a sideways axe is kind of what you would say. In an ice-cold bath, and the metal screeches steam, and its temper hardens. That's the iron's strength. So they're just saying right here, anybody ever had anything really hot and then dipped it into water? Yeah, and it's like makes that sound like that's what it happens to the eye, okay, when it okay? So they're really giving you that imagery of like the blood and the sound and the what it smelled like and all this terrible stuff. So the eye of the Cyclops sizzled round the stake. He loosed a hideous roar. Ah! The rock wall echoed around. So who wakes up? Cyclops wakes up. So, someone in the class just said he might survive. Do they want the Cyclops to survive this attack? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. So the Cyclops wakes up. Do they? Yes, they want the Cyclops to survive. Why, DJ? Yeah, so DJ said, is that why they made it hot, so he wouldn't die? Yeah, so he wouldn't necessarily bleed out. It would kind of singe the scar. And, so their goal is not to kill the Cyclops. They don't want to actually kill the Cyclops because why? He just wants to blind them so they can get out, so they can have the Cyclops move the stone. So who knows how they're going to pull that off, but we'll see. All right, let's keep going. Flip the page. And we scuttled back in terror. The monster wrenched the spike from his eye, and out it came with a red geyser of blood. So he's still bleeding, but maybe not as bad. But it says a red geyser. Some more imagery there, like a geyser of blood squirting out. He flung it aside with frantic hands, and mad with pain, he bellowed out for help from his neighbors. Yep. So calls for help from the other Cyclops. Okay? Living around about in the caves on the windswept crags. So he does have neighbors. So this isn't good. You don't want an army of Cyclopses coming for you, trying to attack you. Hear his cries, they lumbered up from every side, and hulking round his cavern, asked what ailed him. So what's wrong, they say. The Cyclops say, what's wrong? Roaring out in the God-sent night to rob us of our sleep. So why are you roaring in the middle of the night? What's wrong? You're waking all of us up. All the Cyclops are saying this. Surely no one's rustling your flocks against your will. Surely no one's trying to kill you now by fraud or force. So they're saying this because the Cyclops that Odysseus is coming in contact with is the biggest Cyclops. So surely there's no one attacking you. And the Cyclops replies, nobody, friends. Polyphemus, which is his name. Polyphemus is the name of the Cyclops that's got his eye stabbed. So Polyphemus says, nobody, friends. He bellowed back from his cave, nobody is killing me. Now my fraud and not by force. Nobody. So we see, here comes Odysseus' clever thought process as he screams out, nobody's hurting me. And they say to him, if you're alone, his friends boom back at once. If you're alone, his friends boom back at once, and nobody's trying to overpower you now, look, it must be a plague sent here by mighty Zeus, and there's no escape from that. Okay? So what do they blame Polyphemus's or the Cyclops ailment on? Zeus, the gods, okay? The gods must have cursed, and his name is Polyphemus. So they're not going to get involved. You better pray to your father, Lord Poseidon. So we find out there that Poseidon is the father of the Cyclops. Okay? So the big idea here, though, is we're going to go back up here. Odysseus's trick works. Okay? He's able to say, hey, I'm nobody. And whenever the Cyclops starts complaining and telling his friends what has happened, he's saying, nobody hurt me, nobody attacked me, no one's in here, or nobody's in here, using Odysseus' name. And again, the Cyclops is blinded and had been drinking and is very, so he doesn't understand what's going on. DJ. It probably does. DJ is mentioning Percy Jackson and the connection to the Cyclops in that story. I don't know. I've never read it, so it might actually make that connection for sure. So we're going to end with that section right there. So Odysseus has successfully stabbed the Cyclops and got away with it. Now the question going in the last section is, how are they going to get out of the cave? How is this going to work in his benefit? So we can kind of put that away for now. Yes. The quiz over the Odyssey will be tomorrow. Yep. So we'll take the quiz tomorrow. Yeah, of this?
Yes.
Of my writing or yes. Yes. So, hold on, we're not done with class. Come back together. We still have 10 minutes left. We're going to go back and look at world religion. And there's something I want to show you. And again, because of pictures and because of everything, we're not able to get as far as we want today. So we're not going to get this finished today, but we're going to continue to talk about world religion. And if you go ahead and go into the civilization materials and open up the Civilization Religious Research Workshop and view that template, you should have already opened the template and hit submit. So if you haven't done that yet, we've been kind of looking at this a little bit. We looked at it on Tuesday, and now we're going to look at it a little bit more. So if you have not opened that yet, you need to do so. Yes, someone just told me I'm lagging a little bit, so I'll slow down a little bit. Are you talking about the assignment? The assignment. That's fine. That's perfect. If you worked ahead and you got the assignment done, that's fine. I added something to the assignment, and I just want to show you that. Okay? So I'm showing you all what I've added to that assignment. And we looked at this earlier about what these different definitions were, and we talked about. Did we talk about this? I think we did. Okay. Looking down, I wanted to show you this video. And you know what? Okay, here's what I'm going to decide to do because I think we're having some technical difficulties and the people in the class are a little distracted. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to pause on this for tomorrow. I know we keep putting it off, but I don't want to rush it. So we're going to talk about this tomorrow. I'm going to let you guys go a little early on the online group. I'll let y'all go early so you guys are done for the day.